And welcome back to the Chicago Bears franchise rebuild. Here today, we are going to go through year 9 of the franchise. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. As your Chicago Bears are coming off a 11-6 record, and we were one and done in the postseason. And we have two more. We have today's video and the next video, at least on the schedule. You know, if we don't make it to a Super Bowl, this would be, I believe, the first or maybe second franchise that we have never made it to a Super Bowl. Dwight Pianzo might go down as just that head coach that never could. At the end of last episode, we saw that DJ Moore has decided to call it a career. And this leaves a pretty sizable hole on our offense, especially at the skill position. I don't know if Doug Anthony is truly ready to become the #1 wide receiver. I don't know if we're going to be able to even keep Tyler Scott, who wants a 3-year contract. And then from there, you know, we have Jerry Gay and we have Cedric Choice here under contract, as well as we have Cliff Nicholson, with a quality interior offensive line. Our offense is very much set. We just need to find that next big-time player. So in free agency, wide receiver is going to be my top target again. Tackle is again a position of need, though you could argue that we kind of are set here. Offensively, it's really just figuring out the receiving position. Defensively, now, you guys might sit here and look and remember that we were a 4-3 defense. I have decided to change our defensive coordinator to a 3-4. This is allowing us to really kind of highlight some more of our skilled players and giving some defensive linemen more playing time. Until we make the decisions on Josh Allen, Allen might play left outside linebacker or Chuck Gardner will. It really matters what we do with Allen and his contract. Now, Josh is entering into free agency. He needs a new deal. He's still a top 15 pass rusher. He's coming off a 23 sack campaign. He is still so crucial for this defense. We still can't let him walk. And that is a move that we're going to have to make very quickly for us. Jalen Johnson, who just went up to superstar dev, 32 years old. He's also entering into, again, needing a new deal. And again, I'm looking to re-sign him. He's still a top-tier cornerback in this league. And, you know, it keeps the secondary very much together. I think the defensive needs, of course, if both Allen and Johnson decide to leave, they don't accept the 1-year deal, then pass rush is still very much of a concern. Corner is, and today we're probably going to be franchising tagging Steven Timmons here. Tried to offer him a new deal. He did not want to accept it. And Steven is just so important to this defense. He's just as important as those other two players. So we need to make sure that we can keep these 3 guys. And we'll see if we can. I would sit here and say our defense is more set than ever, but we just kind of have to put it all together. So let's get into free agency. We have re-signings to do. Let's go see what we can make happen. Well, we have $73 million to work with. Jalen John, so Steven Timmons, the tag is right now $21 million, so that would leave us with like $52-ish million to work with for this up-and-coming free agency. So before I'm tagging Steven Timmons, I want to make sure I get everyone else under contract. So for Jalen Johnson here, a 1-year, $21 million. That's we're gonna bump this up to make it a 23. Maybe let's make it 24. Actually no, let's bring it to 23.5. Let's see if he re-signed. So we kept Jalen Johnson, a good 1-year contract. Josh Allen here, he wants a new deal. Of course, we're going to be giving this to him, a 1-year, $13 million, and he is saying free agency is better for him. So now, obviously, the tag here is this just about the same. It's a point million more. So which one do you argue is the more important player? That's the reason I didn't use the franchise tag just yet. Royals here, we're going to be letting go. Tyler Scott wants a 3-year, $22 million deal. I'm more than happy to give this to him. And Tyler re-signed. So we have extended Tyler Scott, give him 3 more years for us. For Caleb here, our right tackle, left tackle, we are rejecting this 5th-year option for him. Green here, we're going to be letting go. Ben Allen as well. Yeah, I'm not planning on keeping anyone else. Michael Dixon, I think we're going to try to find a new kicker. Yeah, I don't think that we're going to try to bring in anyone else out of this group here. It's just now, who do we apply the franchise tag to? So, I know that this is going to be that a lot of people are going to really push back on this decision. The thing is this. Steven Timmons is younger. And we have 2 more sim seasons that we're going to be going through. Steven has to stay on this roster over Josh Allen. We have brought in young defensive line talent over these last few drafts. It's been difficult to find linebacker talent, and we're going to give him the franchise tag. That means Josh Allen's going to hit free agency. We still have $21 million to work with. I am going to be restructuring some players' contracts to hopefully give us a little bit more room to bring Allen back. Allen will be our top priority into the first stage of free agency, which we probably will not participate in, which gives me a little bit of a worry. But let's get into free agency. Let's see what we can do. So we had right around $21 million, and after restructuring, we freed up about over $25 million. So we're entering into open free agency with $46 million. But again, we're in free agency stage 1, and we can't make any targets. Patrick Mahomes is out here, ladies and gentlemen. Same with Rashad Slayton here, Zay Flowers. There's there's multiple quarterback depth here that you could get. A couple backs that are good. Would love to go after Zay Flowers, but unfortunately we just can't. I really hate this bug. As well as Josh Allen has 4 offers on the table. Not happy about seeing that. So when I'm gonna sim, and we will see if Josh Allen finds a new home, and we kind of have to go we're gonna have to figure out the edge rushing position. So I have to sim to the next stage here. And yeah. So we sim to stage 2. I have made 5 offers, and thankfully Josh Allen is one of them. We're offering him a massive 1-year contract, hoping that he can come in here. I'm also offering to Jeffrey Simmons, Roquan Smith, just trying to get some linebacker depth. Stephen Vernon here, quality running back, and Will Landry, trying to bring him back to the roster. So trying to get a couple new faces to the team like Stephen Vernon and Jeffrey Simmons, but trying to reunite Smith with his old team and trying to keep Allen, and after Will didn't play for us for maybe a season or 2, trying to bring him back. So let's evaluate and see what we got. Well, we did bring in Stephen Vernon here, who will be a quality power back. Jeffrey Simmons, Roquan Smith, and Will Landry all have yet to decide. And that means that Josh Allen has signed with the New Orleans Saints. We offered him more money. We offered him so much to return. But unfortunately, Josh Allen will be playing next year in a Saints uniform. This one kind of hurts because Josh has been here for the last 7 years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, for the last 7 years, I used him for, these 3 seasons. I really thought that he was going to just kind of finish his career off with us, but he took less money maybe to go to a team that has better championship odds. Happy though we signed Steven Vernon. We just needed a power back, as well as we still need offensive talent on the team. But now with this money, I will see if I can make any other sort of moves with this roster. We'll see. And I have decided to make a trade here. Trading away Aaron Durbin here, quarterback. He's no longer on the roster. Reggie Silvers and Paul Fitcher here, and a third-round pick to acquire Walker here, wide receiver. And we move up 5 picks in this up-and-coming draft class, exchanging 3s. And this is allowing us now to kind of turn to having 3 quality wide receivers. You could even throw Deion Ingram here. But Terrell Walker here, 24 years old, out of Alabama. He's a pure deep threat. He will be able to get down the field for us, make some plays, get the ball in his hands. And this kind of solidifies our receiving core. Now we're kind of, again, 3 or 4 players deep. I think that this very much helps us. It adds that level of speed. And we're basically sitting here now saying to both Anthony and Walker, prove to us that you're ready to become the guy for this team. We just lost DJ Moore, and there's one more trade that I want to do just to move off of some depth across the roster. Just trying to get some more picks in this year's draft class. And we're trading away 2 quality players here, 2 backups on our roster. Percy Hitchcock and Brian Lindsay for a 4th-round pick from Cleveland. They both have opportunities to now play on our roster. Back to free agency here. Extended some offers out. Jeffrey Simmons, Ryan Wright here, Roquan Smith, Garris Jordan here, tackle, as well as, of course, Will Landry. Just trying to bolster up this team a little bit more. Let's evaluate, see what we got. So we have brought in Jeffrey Simmons, Garris Jordan here, Vernon and Will Landry. I guess we did not get, I forget the player's name, but able to bring in these guys. Wright still deciding. Let's go see what's happened. So Patrick Mahomes is going to the Raiders here. Kind of want to check on the Raiders here because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They should still have their young quarterback that they drafted early on in this franchise. Rashawn Slater going to the Patriots. Zay Flowers going to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence going to the Steelers here. We know Allen's going to the Saints. I don't know if there's any other moves. Roquan Smith, he decided to go to the Giants instead of with us. CJ's going to the Panthers. He was on our roster for a handful of seasons. Just want to see if there's any other movements with players that I recognize or I know. Will Stanton here. Here's the ex-Vikings quarterback. He's going, I forget already the team. Not seeing too many other players' names that I recognize here, but I think that's enough for free agency. We added at least we got a solid tackle who's 26 years old. He will be able to play probably left tackle for us. And we brought in Jeffrey Simmons here to be hopefully that veteran presence on this defensive line, and he just makes plays somehow, some way. Even if it's in the running game, it does not matter to me, as long as he can help out the roster. And I have made one more trade before getting into the draft. We're trading away Caleb Gabby here, and a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick to move up to the 7th overall selection from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Caleb here, the right tackle, he's entering into his last year of his deal. He was not going to be playing for us. And we're moving up from 24 to 7 into the top 10 to hopefully get a blue chip player. We had 2 2nd-round picks. We had 2 4th-round selections. It just made a whole lot of sense. Thankfully, we got rid of, or we traded away the later picks for us. So this allows us now to get a top 10 player that we have not had an opportunity to do really in the last 5-6 years for this team. And, you know, hopefully that this kind of a rookie could really help us potentially. I don't know just yet. So here's the current state of the roster. You know, we have Cliff Nicholson here at quarterback. He is doing a great job for us, and he's actually been such a key contributor for this team's success over these last 5 seasons. But we're right now entering a year where we have, you know, a number 1 receiver in Doug Anthony entering into year 5 and hoping that he can take the necessary steps moving forward. Do we try to draft another rookie wide receiver and say to ourselves, you know, we have Tyler Scott for depth, and, you know, we brought in Walker for that speed. We have Anthony that can do a little bit of everything. Or do we sit pat and say, you know what, we have 3 receivers, we have a good top 10 running back and a top 10 tight end with a quality offensive line, and say, hey, Nicholson, just let it rip, and kind of decide to focus on the defensive side of the ball, where you could argue getting the defensive lineman makes a whole lot of sense. Maybe trying to get a new safety here, trying to find maybe a corner, or heck, even an inside linebacker. These are all moves that could potentially be made here. I don't know just yet. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have the 1st overall pick. We hold the 7th. So we're picking up very early here. But the Pittsburgh Steelers here in the 2031 NFL Draft will select Tucker Page, tackle out of Notre Dame. He was one of the best tackles in this up-and-coming class. So I'm going to let the draft go, and I'll show you guys who we select with the 7th overall pick. And here with the 7th overall selection, maybe a pick that no one's really expecting to be made here. Darnell Herding, guard. Now, I think that he's very good here. I know that there's not a lot to go off of. I've kind of let the game decide with the scouting. But Herding, 43 reps is huge. He can move. He can do a little bit of everything right. Herding will be the selection here with the 7th overall pick. 96 strength, hidden development. Now, it really matters his overall, because if he's like a 73, then okay, this is just kind of a bust selection on my part. But I truly think he's going to be a top-tier talent. He could even play tackle potentially for us. So happy with that selection. Happy to get a hidden dev guard. I know it's kind of weird to be trading up all those selections to do so, but I think he's very good. Trying to help out this defensive line here in the 2nd round, John Claiborne here. He's a defensive end. He's a run stopper archetype, but he has beat power moves. Very intrigued with him. 91 strength, normal development. Hopefully John here can at least provide something for this team his rookie season. Wanting to get a young corner in the building, Austin Macy here will be the selection here in the 3rd round. Normal dev also with 91 speed. Pretty solid. Here in the 4th round, getting a running back, Clyde Roberts here, who's a power back. Hopefully that he can provide something for this offense, and he has hidden development. Here in the 4th round, 21 years old, 92 speed, and that's good enough speed for a power back who's 234. Nice. Jacob Tyler here, who's another defensive tackle, and here in the 6th round, we didn't have a 5th round pick. He'll be the pick. 94 strength, normal dev. And then here in the 7th round, needed a quarterback. Terrence Alexander will be the pick. 23 years old, 88 throw power, but he has hidden development. Very interesting here for our number 2 backup, most likely. And here's your draft, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I'm not going to get flamed in the comment section for this selection here with Darnell Herding here. Hidden development, 82 overall. And yeah, you can play him. He's already a top 10 right guard in this league. But I think you could play him anywhere on this offensive line. And I think he's going to play one of the tackle spots. So what does that mean for one of the tackles that we brought in over these last few years? We might look to trade him, keep him for depth for next year. John Clayton here, or Claymore, excuse me. You know what? He's more of a defensive tackle, but he plays defensive end, and we're running a 3-4 scheme, so he kind of fits perfectly for that spot. Austin Masley here, corner. 81 man, 81 press. Very good. He'll be a good number 4 corner. Develop him for a few seasons. Clyde Roberts here, the hidden dev running back. 76 overall. I mean, gotta just get him some snaps here. I know we've signed a power back, but I think that was a good move for us. Then Jacob Tyler here. These are solid ratings here for the 6th round. I think Jacob has an opportunity to make some plays. And then quarterback, who is the lowest overall, but also has hidden development. Accuracies are all in a solid spot. I mean, just gotta get that awareness up, and maybe he can become something. Who knows? But I do want to see if we got the best player in the class. We did. Connor Keys, he was the big target that I was looking to go get, but unfortunately he went number 2 overall. I didn't know where he was gonna end up, but he's going to the Broncos. But I'm happy that with the selection that we got at least. Well, this will be the opening day starting roster. Cliff Nicholson will be leading this offense, and there's more responsibilities than ever on Nicholson, and it's time for him to take this team to the next level. He has a top-tier running back in Choice. He has a top-tier tight end in Jerry Gay. He has 3 quality wide receivers. It's time for him to take this leap here. We've improved the offensive line, especially the left side, where they have struggled over the last few seasons, bringing in Jordan and Herning. We're going to start Thomas at right tackle, and you might be wondering, what about Christian Ryans? Well, we still have him under contract that's not being paid a whole lot of money, and Chris Cannon here, he's expected to be a free agent. Now, 27 years old, he has solid ratings all around. He's just a solid guard. That doesn't mean anything to me. We have 2 years left to try to make this team into a Super Bowl champion. So we're hoping that, I'm just hoping that starting just the better offensive lineman will help us more than anything. Defensively, well, you know, now we're going to get to see a little bit more of these younger players across the defensive line that we've brought in. You know, this front 7 is mainly led by now Chuck Gardner and Steven Timmons, 2 players that we drafted very early on. And, you know, in the secondary, you know, we have our duo at safety, we have the duo at corner, and we have a couple other solid players here. So I'm really hoping that, you know, without Josh Allen, our defense and the change in scheme will help us. This will be also the specialist. Doug Anthony will play in the slot. Choice will be the third down back. Roberts will be the power back. And then Jeffrey Simmons will play on the inside as Crutchfield and Gardner come off the edge, and Winter will play the other defensive tackle role for us. So we'll see how we'll handle this season. You know, it looks like starting off this season with the Packers, then the Vikings, and again the Packers. So let's get to week 3, 4, or 5, and then we'll stop the simulating. Well, after the loss in week 1, we went on a 6-game winning streak, which is why I stopped here at week 8. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. And we're looking good out here. 6-1, tied for first place with the Green Bay Packers. Playing good offense, playing good defense. Let's check out some stats here about halfway through the season. So Cliff Nicholson has thrown 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, which is surprising that we've won 6 games with this stat line. I don't think we've been putting up a whole lot of points. Choice here has 500 rushing yards, 3 scores, and Clay Roberts has found the end zone 6 times already, so that's nice. That's nice to see. Doug Anthony, our leading receiver with Jerry Gay. Walker here being the solid number 2. Tyler Scott having a quiet season. I think some other players involved as well. The offensive line, it looks like it's holding up pretty nicely so far. Right now, the left side is struggling a little bit, but not really by a large margin at all. And then defensively, well, some of our newer defensive linemen are kind of going all out here. Kevin here and Orlando, 2 players that we've brought in over the last few years, tied for 4 sacks. Chuck Garner has 3.5. Martinez here has 3. Simmons has 2. So, and we got a couple interceptions from our linebacking spot. Got to just see a little bit more from this team, and hopefully we can start putting up some more points here. We have 17 players that need new contracts, $90 million to work with. And let's look at this. So we have Steven Timmons back at it again. Carlos Cannon, Doug Anthony, Trent Shetfield, Jalen Johnson, Darnell Harris, Clark Phillips here, and actually we were able to bring back Reggie Silvers, who we traded for, but he was out in free agency again. Martinez is out here. Then a couple other depth guys. Got to decide on the 5th-year option for a few players. Okay, so $90 million. Of course, we want to keep Steven Timmins here, and I was offering him a boatload of money last year. I'm willing to give him a long-term deal with us. More than happy to. A 4-year 84, but same answer that he gave me last year. So I don't really know what's going to happen with Steven Timmins here. For Doug Anthony, I want to get this contract done and over with, and this is a very reasonable deal. This reminds me a lot of Tyler Scott's contract when he was needed a new one. And we got Doug Anthony under contract, so I'm happy about that. We're keeping our #1 receiver. For Sheffield, this is also a very easy decision to keep him. Very cheap. Sheffield is a quality starter. I don't think we'll be... and he's giving me the same treatment as Steven Timmins, unfortunately. But he would be an excellent re-sign if we can keep him. For Jalen Johnson, not going to work on his deal until the end of the season. For Harris here, this is another interesting one because, you know, Harris is still kind of he is a key contributor to our defense. He plays that other linebacker spot, and I don't really want to go into the next offseason having to figure out the inside linebacker. And that's kind of the philosophy here with Martinez here. Might as well try to re-sign him to a 1-year contract, $9 million. He re-signed, so we keep our starting run-stopping defensive tackle. And then for everyone else down the board here, I will wait. I'll let you guys know if I make any sort of re-signings here with Sheffield and Timmins, but for now, I'm going to keep simming. Maybe right around week 12, 14, we'll stop. So I was able to re-sign Trent Sheffield to a 3-year extension, so we don't have to worry about safety next year. I was also able to re-sign Steven Timmins to a 4-year extension, and, you know, he's a quality starter. I am so happy to keep him on this team. From undrafted to an X Factor to be our top-tier inside linebacker, it's just huge to see his career progress. Well, we have reached week 14. We're going to be playing against next the New York Giants, who are 6-6. We're 9-3 here. The Packers have kind of taken this division and kind of ran with it here. They're currently the #1 seed, and it looks like we're going to be a wild card team unless the Packers kind of start drifting off here. But I don't think that any sort of changes really need to be made. We have a top-tier defense this year, surprisingly, without Josh Allen. And offensively, we've been doing solidly. Got to be able to pass the football, though. It looks like we only have 11 touchdowns passing. How the hell is that possible here with Cliff Nicholson? That is so surprising to me. Wow. I don't even know if we're going to have a 1,000-yard receiver this year. Well, we have made it to week 18 here. We're 11-5. We can't win the division, but the Lions have turned their season around as well. And let's look at this current playoff picture. Right now, we're the current 5 seed. The Lions are the 6th seed. We just beat the Falcons, who are the 7th seed. So as we enter into now this postseason run here in year 9, we have made the playoffs. We're in. It just kind of matters which wild card team I guess we are, which kind of sucks that we're probably having one of our better seasons, and we're not going to be the #1 seed in this year's what's it called, postseason run. For Cliff Nicholson, he's putting up an okay season. Actually, let's do stats later. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let's go see who we're gonna be playing in the postseason. And we got Justin Fields here, week 18. See who we got though in the postseason. We will be playing against the team we just lost to in the Seattle Seahawks. Well, you know, that is definitely a tough pill to swallow. You know, you lose a game and now against the same team, and now you're playing against them the very next week, but now it's kind of win or go home now. So this is gonna be tough here. We upgraded Cliff Nicholson, Austin Massey here. There's a rookie corner. We'll let the game handle this other corner on this roster. But damn. Okay, so now we got Justin Fields here. You know, we got Fields here. We went 11-6. It looks like we have a top 10 offense, the #1 ranked defense. Now let's look at the stats. Sorry, guys. So Cliff Nicholson, yeah, he had probably his worst year. Less than 4,000 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks, sacked 27 times. The offensive line definitely played better. We actually had a running game this year. Eric Joyce, 1,200 yards. He's providing exactly what we've needed him to do. Exactly what we've needed to see. He's put up 1,100 and now 1,200, scoring 15 times over the last 2 years. We have now a solid back here, and Clay Roberts here, who's been able to find the end zone, make some plays on 3rd down. Happy to see that. Doug Anthony almost cracked 1,000 yards again. Jerry Gay provided for us. Walker had a solid season. Tyler Scott provided again. I don't know if this is like, though this is not really good enough for receiving numbers. Offensive line played well. Lefts, or the 2 tackles, did struggle at times. The interior strong as always. So happy about that. And then defensively, Steven Tiemans led us in tackles. Harris was behind him. In terms of TFLs, Orlando Winter with 17, and Kevin Cutfield here with 12. We see Winters here kind of took over as that top-tier pass rusher with 9.5 sacks. Simmons added 6.5. Chuck Garner added 5, which is kind of surprising here. Gardner is our best player on the defensive line, in my opinion. He's the most well-rounded. He struggled, and I don't know if that's because he's playing outside linebacker, if that makes some sort of difference. I have no idea. But we did generate his team as a solid pass rush, I would say. Defensively, in terms of turnovers, got a few. Nothing to write home about, though. And then let's quickly look at yearly rewards. MVP is Joe Burrow, and who cares about the head coach of the year? So let's see. Offensive player of the year goes to Bijan Robinson. Michael Parsons here. Defensive player of the year. Let's see if we have any Bears here at #1. I don't think so. And no. No one, I didn't even see anyone's name. So that's unfortunate. But time to go through year 9's postseason run, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget this. If we're 1 and done, once I sim, next episode potentially could be the series finale. So let's sim to the next week. Do we beat the Seattle Seahawks here today? And no, we lost 35-14. You gotta be kidding me. I know I didn't go out there and brought in a top 5 wide receiver. We just couldn't, because of the game not allowing me to. But, we improved on the offensive line, something that I feel like is very important. We added a solid receiver. We have 2 top-tier players at their skill positions. We've kept Jalen Johnson happy. We kept Steven Timmons. I don't think that this defense is as bad as some might think. I'm just so surprised that with the lack of postseason success here, and now because of that loss, now we have there's a lot of thinking to do now. I mean, we're now, next episode is the finale. I mean, if we don't win it, it's the finale, ladies and gentlemen. And that's tough. Let's look at the Pro Bowlers. Cliff Nicholson was the best quarterback, but that's so surprising to me. He's QB1. No running backs for us. I think that's our fullback. He's the #2 fullback. Wide receivers, no one. Jerry Gay at tight end. No one at tackle. Our new guard and center both got in. I don't think that anyone else would have made it. Maybe some players on defense. I'm not seeing anyone. And we actually, I don't think we have a single Pro Bowler here on defense, which is so surprising when we have a top-tier unit. We were ranked #1. That sucks. And I guess rubbing more salt in the wound here, the Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, I guess, is on them now, somehow, some way. So they've won the division. They're the Super Bowl champions. And I didn't even know they had Patrick Mahomes. I thought the Raiders did at the beginning of this episode. I did undo the move, but I guess he somehow landed in Green Bay. Damn. Well, that sucks. So now let's go look at the retirements, and we see that Josh Allen has retired a New Orleans Saint. That's a tough thing to think about. CJ Gardner-Johnson retired as well. Just seeing who else has retired around the league. If there is any other kind of key starters or key players for us. Jamal Adams retired. Michael Dixon. 2 players that were on this team for, at least Dixon was on us for a while. Not seeing too many other players' names. A lot of veterans, a lot of players that we know. Daniel Jones, Tyler Algier retired. He was on the team for a season. And that's about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, next time will be the series, or potentially the series finale. So kind of how that episode's gonna go, it's gonna be the same type of ordeal as all these other ones. But if it is in fact the series finale, and that just means we're gonna go through another off season, we're gonna sim all the way to everything's gonna be the same. We're just not gonna do another off season afterwards. So we have one more off season to make any sort of necessary moves, one more off season to bring in some more talent to the roster, and then it's the last regular season, and it's the last, hopefully, postseason to a potentially Super Bowl run. If we do make it to a Super Bowl, I will pause, I will stop the recording, end the episode, and then we will, in fact, have a true series finale, which would be a Super Bowl, win or lose. And if we lost, and that's the series finale, that would be another nail-biter with this series. So, guys, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.